From Pacifica Radio, this is Democracy Now! 20 years ago, on February 19th, 1996, Democracy Now! Went on the air. Today, we take a freewheeling journey through the last 2 decades.
It is very clear that Chevron, just like Shell, uses the military to protect its oil activities. They drill and they kill.
Now, you just listen to me. You ask the questions, and I'm going to answer. You have asked questions in a hostile, combative, and even disrespectful tone, and you have never been able to combat the facts.
And we stand here today to let those people and others know that America is a vast and diverse country, and we are part of the greater truth of what makes our nation. Dr. King once said that if mankind does not put an end to war, war will put an end to mankind.
Right there. Release the accredited journalist now!
From the convention
you are violating my constitutional right. You are violating now.
Sir, I want to talk to you.
You are violating constitutional rights, sir.
You are Troy Davis. We are Troy Davis.
And it really looks like a battlefield. This is not the same theater that we were walking in every day since.
My name is Rona, and my sign is Negro Spring. The same as the Arabs fought for their rights, for their civil rights, to oust their corrupt government, we're fighting for our civil rights, our human rights.
Today, highlights of 20 years of Democracy Now! All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
I think it's very important to talk about what the media misses. The media misses movements, and it's movements that matter. It's movements that make history. Whether we're talking about Black Lives Matter or the immigrants' rights movement, the movement against inequality or against war, the movement for a sustainable future dealing with climate change, lesbian gay movement, what's critical is people coming together and seeing how they have to shape the world in a different way. As Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. And that's what we're talking about today, movements that matter.
Absolutely. As a journalist, how does creating a good piece of journalism resemble creating a piece of artwork?
Art and politics intersect in so many different ways. Our Independence Day show on Democracy Now!, which people can catch at democracynow.org and on all different TV channels and radio channels. On our Independence Day show, we start off with James Earl Jones, the great actor, reading the words of Frederick Douglass in 1852, speaking to the Rochester and Women's Anti-Slavery Auxiliary, saying, "What is your Independence Day to the American Negro?" It's followed by Saul Williams, the great word artist, poet, rapper. And then we end with Jesse Williams. Jesse Williams is the American actor who plays Dr. Jackson Avery in Grey's Anatomy. But he was given the Humanitarian Award at the BET Awards this year. That's the Black Entertainment Television Awards. And he gave an astounding speech about standing up. Mm-hmm. And, this is politics, this is art, and this is the intersection of all of them.
So beautifully said, too. And I want to talk more about that, but we can't because of time. But what art or artist, go along those lines, what art or artist inspires you to tell the truth?
So many different artists inspire me. I think of Michael Franti, who, great musician who wrote listener-sponsored radio, who has inspired me with all of his music for so many years. Kanan, the Somali Canadian rapper, his songs so deeply move me. Sarah Thompson, a great musician. Tracy Chapman and Sweet Honey in the Rock. Whether we're talking about Ep.3, Downtown Boys, and so many different groups and individuals, their music touches my soul.
And so, is that what makes art such an important part of creating movements, is that it touches people's souls, in your opinion?
I think so. Whether we're talking about music or we're talking about visual art, it's a different means of expression. And what's important is that we have a society that allows all of this expression, because it's not only the artist who molds their art, but in so doing molds the world.
And last question here. So when I watch Democracy Now!, I noticed that you play some pretty interesting music in between your breaks between stories, and I found some great artists that way. Why do you think it's important to play that music, and why do you think it's important that you cover artists on some of your shows?
Music is a critical part of our show. It's not just a transition point. It expresses what's happening. We played, for example, Woody Guthrie wrote a song about Old Man Trump, and he was talking about Fred Trump, the father of Donald Trump. Fred Trump, who was a real estate developer who built houses, was sued by the government for keeping African Americans out of housing projects that they had in Queens, and Donald Trump was a part of that. Whether we're playing many different songs. It's music. It's not just, it's part of the storyline. It's a seamless web, the hour, and I hope everyone checks out democracynow.org.
Thank you so much, Amy, and thank you for letting me talk to you for these couple minutes.
Oh, thank you.
Please
Keep
go watch
up your great work.
Please go watch Democracy Now!, everybody. You have to.
To see all of the highlights of Democracy Now! Over 20 years, go to our website at democracynow.org. Special thanks to Mike Burke and all the team that makes Democracy Now! Happen over these decades. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. We thank you.